So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. Haha. I'm Maidi. I was born in Canada. I grew up in the United States,
Mhm.
and I'm a lifelong seeker. I've never felt like I belonged, no matter where I went.
Oh.
I was always like an outsider. It's never a part of, the society that I grew up in. It was always like something in me was uncomfortable in these environments that I was in until I was in my mid 20s, now 31
No,
years old. So I was always looking for, something else, something outside of the mainstream culture that everyone was seemed to be a part of and comfortable with, and everyone seemed to accept it, but no one was happy.
Yeah.
And obviously, that seemed something was wrong with that to me because why are we living this meaningless life? And so I was always looking for meaning, I was looking for purpose,
Ah.
and that led me to, seek different modes of life and other lifestyles, other environments that weren't, the traditional way of living. And so I was on the traditional path. I, went to school, went to university, worked, had a career, worked in jobs, and then eventually the tension and the discomfort in that, not being happy, not feeling fulfilled, suffering, it reached a boiling point where I had to leave it all. And even if I had nothing, which at times I had absolutely nothing, I set out to find a different way than I was brought up with. And that led me here.
Ah. Nice, nice. You always search for the meaning and the purpose.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because there was no meaning and purpose in the regular way of living. In that society, it's always serving some machine, some structure of society that is not, doesn't benefit you. You benefit it, and then you're just suffering for it. To maintain a way of life that doesn't fulfill you and doesn't make you happy.
So, how did you first hear about Lifechanyuan or the Thailand community?
I found it on Intentional Community website, and I was looking for different communities like this for a long time. Like I said, I was seeking new types of environments, new lifestyles, and that led me to finding intentional communities, eco-villages, people who were living off grid, outside of society.
So you tried any other communities before you choose
I'd
Lifechanyuan?
visited a few communities before, visited a few places somewhat similar to this. This is the first one I found and stayed long term, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. Yeah, nice. This question, this question.
Yeah, nothing more about that last one you wanted to.
Last one. Last
Oh,
one.
how did I? Oh, yeah. And I was. More to that story. Um, and so about a year ago, I left home again, and to travel around. I was in Europe, and then I wanted to come to Asia for the first time in my life. I'd never been to East Asia. And my sister was in Thailand, and she told me about how great it was, so I wanted to come to Thailand. And I knew that there must be communities like this here because it's just a more natural place, and many people like us are also, living around here. And I found this specific community on Intentional Community website when I was coming to Thailand. Before I even got to Thailand, I saw the page for Lifechanyuan, and then when I got here, I looked more into it and I got in contact, and that's that. I ended up here.
Yeah. And what?
Yeah.
Let's try next
Next
question.
question. Yeah.
What inspired you to come and join this community?
You can sense an immediate warmth, welcoming. There was an energy of, come on, it doesn't matter. Just bring yourself. I guess the way I communicated it helped you want to receive me as well. Just a very open heart. I felt a warmth and a welcoming attitude, and it was just the flow led me here. There's a good energy, a good philosophy, a good attitude.
So, what makes you to become a member of Lifechanyuan? So first you experienced the life here,
Yeah.
and then you choose to become a member of Lifechanyuan.
Right. Because the lifestyle is just so different, and I had never seen anything quite like it. I've seen similar things, but this was very unique. Very unique lifestyle that I wanted to try, and then I came as a guest, as a volunteer for 1 week.
Yes.
And I tried it out, and some parts of it were challenging, other parts were felt like home. I had a feeling of home, and even though there were parts that were challenging, like labor, like working the field, like things that I wasn't used to, I felt like I could commit to it and follow through and and at least try out the lifestyle long term, and just mostly just the feeling of home. And even though some things were hard, there was that feeling of being home and having a family that was just different than places I've been before, that would just accept me and receive me so warmly. Yeah.
You find the sense of belonging in this community.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I mean, everyone's happy here. So that's different, Outside, you walk around, people aren't just happy, carefree, playful, childlike spirits. That's what you can find here. Is like stripping away of all the garbage that we got from society, and everyone is like enjoying themselves, like genuinely. Don't need.
No need to worry about anything.
Exactly. There's no worries. It's just a simple way of being, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a part of it. Stick around.
So you've been living here for 4 or 5 months?
Yeah. 5 months now. Yeah.
5 months already. So how has your experience been living here for the past 5 months?
Well, I've gotten used to the more difficult parts of the lifestyle that initially, yeah. The physically demanding parts of it.
Yeah.
You get used to it and you adjust. You adapt.
Yeah.
And my body has adapted to that. So at first, maybe first few months, it was very challenging, and then it becomes less challenging the more you do it and the less you complain.
Yeah, with the gardening job and construction job, especially. Yes.
Right. The agriculture and the permaculture and construction. Yeah, there's a lot of physically demanding tasks, but it's so you learn to enjoy them too.
Yeah.
You definitely start to enjoy them. and you're contributing to a place that you're a part of. It's not
Yeah.
like you're working for someone else.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
working for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's fulfilling in that way.
So now, do you think you have growth on the physical part? Have you already get through the challenge, you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The tasks are much easier and
okay.
not much of a challenge. No.
Except the physical challenge, do you think you have any other face any other challenges here to uh, to be one with the community?
Yeah, there are some cultural differences,
Culture.
but they don't really matter so much. You know, language can be a barrier, and culture, but they don't matter so much. You know,
Oh, yes,
when there's
many people they think we are in Thailand. They think maybe we most of us speak Thai. They
yeah,
think um, maybe difficult for them to join the community. Or someone they thought you guys speak Chinese every day. How can I communicate with you? Do you think it's difficult for you?
yeah. I mean, you can't always communicate with language, but you can always communicate with energy.
Oh,
You know, with vibes, with if you come with an open heart, then everything is understood. They don't need to necessarily know every detail or know what you're saying to understand you. So I feel understood and accepted, even though maybe not everyone understands me or knows me to every detail.
yeah.
There's a shared understanding and a connection that you feel.
The connection with the heart, with the soul is more important.
Yeah, it is more powerful than language. Yeah. And anyway, the things you communicate with language aren't so important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Come and go, they change,
Yeah.
but there's something, that's real, that is shared and is always there, that you can rely on.
So you also improved your Chinese
Learned a little bit of
a little
Chinese,
bit.
but it's yeah,
Okay, because you listened too much. Too much.
yeah, yeah. I didn't. Well, it's because of that I didn't feel so much pressure to learn Chinese. You know, I
Oh,
picked up a little bit, but it's
actually, many members here they are trying to learn English, but they also want to communicate more with you, with
yeah,
other
with
English speakers.
it's an international family, so
Yeah,
English has become kind of the international
yeah, yeah,
language.
yes.
But yeah, we'll see. We're evolving spiritually to maybe not need language as much anymore, or English, Chinese. Maybe that's not so important.
Okay. Okay. Uh, language barrier, not a challenge for
Not
you.
so
Not a
important. No,
challenge.
not a big deal.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
Mm. So, mm. Then how do you feel about the lifestyle here compared to your life before?
Um, I love the simplicity of it.
Mm.
It's I love the carefree nature of it. It's no, you don't have to worry about anything. Everything's taken care of for you. I feel like I'm supported, and I also don't necessarily have to meet a standard or do something to earn my
Ah,
place here. I'm
ah,
pretty much accepted no matter what I do. And I wasn't like that in the society that I grew up in. There you have to earn your place and show, prove your value and show that you're, a valuable contributor to society, or else, you're worthless. And here it's, you have the inherent value. You're worthy, just for who I am. And there's a big part of that that's here that helps me feel like I want to contribute and that I want to give of myself to the community.
So you mean this environment will make you feel free to express yourself truly and express your most beautiful version of yourself.
Yeah, it's free. You know? I do feel free here.
Free.
There's a freedom of having broken free from the
So
cycles of old, and yeah.
You said that you don't want to work outside in the secular world, and you even so. What was that kind of life like when you work outside?
It was like you're always trying to get somewhere and like finish what you're doing so that you can go back home and have a little bit of freedom before you have to come into work the next day. And it's a destructive cycle of meaningless boredom.
So
and
you don't like what you do. You don't like the work you do.
there were some parts of it that were okay, but in the bigger picture is that the life it's not one thing. It's you're just trying to get through it, right? You're just trying to survive.
So just work for earn money for survive.
The survival mode for sure. And here you're doing more than survive.
No need to worry about.
Yeah. Your needs are taken care of.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not looking for how I'm going to support myself and how I'm going to survive. That's taken care of, and then I'm free to do, to give in whatever way I want, in whatever way I'm passionate about, and I'm just free.
Free. Yeah. Okay. So
You're happy with it so far? Good.
perfect.
Good.
Well, what part of Lifechanyuan philosophy resonates most with you?
The natural, aspects of it, the way of nature, the way of the creator, getting back into nature, into our natural way of living is again what I, always wanted. The other way of life felt so unnatural again. So this way of life is much more natural. We're in nature. We're working with nature.
Yes.
We're integrated with nature. We're one with nature. And that's such a big part of the Lifechanyuan philosophy, is that we're reconnecting with the way of nature. We're aligning ourselves with the movement of nature. And that's our natural, that's the way that feels the most effortless, that feels the most pleasurable, happy, free, that we're not, in the struggle with nature, but we're together with it. And that's such a big part of living here, that we're as nature should be, and that's us. That's what we are, right? We're not apart from nature. We're reconnecting with that.
That's great. Great. Yeah. So what kind of roles or tasks have you taken on here, and how do you feel about them?
Well, I love working with the garden, with the vegetable fields. Working in the fields is great, working with nature. Planting a seed, raising the seedling, planting the seedling in the ground, watching it grow into a tree or into a mature plant. It's very satisfying and very fulfilling. Working with life, creating life out of nothing, creating something, growing vegetables that we then harvest and then eat that same night. That's so satisfying. And the construction's also good, you know, building stuff that we need.
Yeah.
It's our home, you know, we're building our home together, and it's everything for us, you know.
Yeah.
That's what's so good about the work, is that you're just serving yourself, you're serving your own community, and you are receiving direct benefits of your work.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Never just benefiting your boss. You're just like in the old way of working. It's so much more natural.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. How do you feel about the sense of community and the relationships here?
Again, very, very free and very accepted. And everything's allowed. Everything is open and free. And there's nothing that's like cut off or isolated. You know, everything is together, right? And it's always felt, you know, when there's something that isn't quite fitting. But here everything fits, you know, everything is like one family. Everyone is a member of this family. We're brothers and sisters. And I really enjoy that dynamic.
Do you think the relationships in the community is much more simple than the relationships outside?
Yeah, you could say that it's more simple, that it's not complicated. There's no like layers of emotional strain or emotional charge, you know. Maybe sometimes some emotions come up, but this environment that you're in, it really helps you just to let it go, you know. There's no reason to feel bad ever here. So it's, of course, when you're so new in this environment, you're still carrying a lot of this old way, these old patterns of thinking and feeling, and it's helping you release it all when you're in this way of life. It helps you purify yourself of all that old stuff, those layers of emotions and just like stuff that doesn't feel very good or free or open.
So you feel you become more and more pure, or some?
Yeah. The heart is becoming more open. There's a lot less I'm carrying with me, you know. That, you know, we all grew up with all this stuff.
Yes.
But it's we don't need it anymore. Don't need to carry that anymore.
It's also freedom.
Yeah. You're helping yourself become more free by letting go of what you don't need anymore, letting go of what isn't you.
Yeah, that's nice. Have you had any spiritual or personal growth experiences while living here?
Yeah, and that directly ties into the last answer I gave in the last question, which is I'm able to purify myself and cleanse myself of all the dirt, you know, all the things that aren't mine originally, you know, the things that we picked up in our upbringings in society. And that's the growth for me, is just kind of letting go of all of it and not realizing that it doesn't serve you to think that way, to hold on to those feelings. So the growth for me is just a pure heart, a heart that is becoming more pure by not having anything of negative from that world, you know, all the negativity and all the pain and the suffering that is so inherent and so obvious to have when you're living in mainstream society and secular world, is no longer necessary when you're in a place like this. So the growth is a natural byproduct, a natural process that you have when you're in a place like this. You see much more clearly, like, everything you're thinking that is negative, everything you're feeling that's negative. you have to like face that much more closely, so that you can realize that it's not for you. You're basically beating yourself and harming yourself when you continue to think that way. And so here you have the freedom to, you can still carry that if you want, but you're free to heal from that. Heal yourself from this pain and the wounds that we have inside in our hearts, you know.
You can see things more clearly and choose what to do.
What do I prefer, and what is better for me and for others, and what is serving, you know, a higher purpose. And that is what I was always looking for, is a higher purpose. And this is a type of place that gives you the ability to choose that more intently, you know, put more intention behind your movement and your attitude, and follow through with it, you know.
Yeah, I think
growth in that way.
Yeah, I think this is a real growth. You get a benefit from your growth.
Yeah.
Every day. Yeah.
The growth is a natural.
Yeah.
Is natural here. You know. Can't avoid it.
So what would you say to someone who is curious about visiting or joining?
I would say that they should definitely at least visit. They should definitely consider an alternative lifestyle, and this is the perfect place to try that out. And if they are ready for something like that, then there should be no hesitation. You know, don't hesitate to give it a try and see how it works for you. There's nothing wrong here. You know, nothing. So easy. So like. There's almost a difficulty with breaking free from the ways that we're used to being. You know? And so to go into something so new and so different, it can be scary, or it can be intimidating in a way. Like
yes. But and also someone they said, "Oh, this life is too good to be true."
Too good to be true.
They think maybe this is a scam. Some
right. Well, I think if you keep an open mind, and if you're even seeing this, then you're probably on some type of alternative path from the normal way of living, and you're open to some type of at least spirituality in some form. You should know that there's nothing too good to be true. You can always find what you're looking for, you know, in some form. And maybe this is exactly what you're looking for. And you just, you're getting in your own way when you think that it can't be true. Like you can allow yourself to believe in something better, you know. Let yourself dream, let yourself think that something is possible, you know, that maybe your doubt is getting in the way of you actually finding what you're looking for deep down, you know. Don't get out of your own way and find what you're looking for.
Nice. Good. And I think maybe for you it's easy to let go of your past, to get away from the older way you are living. Easy for you, but maybe for someone, they have more attachment to the older partner.
Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's in their own stage of awakening to something more in this life, realizing that, you know, there's more to life than just all that.
But they are still searching for another way of living.
They think they can still, you know, find some sense of comfort or something, a way to experience well-being there and still be in that. But I think it's it's never gonna work, you know.
But what was your first impression of the community when you arrived?
Well, I arrived here at night, and so I couldn't see actually, like, physically what was around me so much,
Yeah.
but I could hear the sounds of nature and hear the insects and the reptiles and all the animals and the wildlife and the sounds of it being a very natural place. And you don't hear the road and the cars and the industry. You don't hear any of that out here. And so it already felt very peaceful. And I was greeted by two brothers next to the kitchen, and they gave me something to eat, and they welcomed me very warmly.
But maybe they speak simple English.
Yeah, they didn't speak much English,
Yeah.
but again, that didn't matter so much. Like, I could feel that they're the glow of their hearts, and they were just seemed very cheerful and loving. I felt like a love immediately. Like they were working, and even though they were working,
yes,
they were working into the night, which is not something we typically do. But they enjoy their their work so much. They wanted to finish this task that they were doing.
Yeah.
And even though they were busy with their work, they greeted me very warmly, and they gave me just such a nice welcome. And I knew then, like, okay, there's something different about this place. Something different than I'm used to. And so that already, like, made me feel like there's this home energy.
Wow.
This very nice, loving reception that I received gave me a good feeling already. So it was nice. And then I found out that that you were looking for me for an hour because I had trouble getting here.
Yeah.
So there was such an effort to find me, but I had already found the place. And
I
so
think that's a magical night.
Yeah, there was a lot of care and attention and positive attitude around me getting here, and it was I definitely felt that. And I'm grateful for it.
Wow.
Grateful for everything that's happened here, and
we're always very glad to have a new brother or new sister. Yeah.
It's a family,
Yes.
Can't help but feel that way, Language and culture and everything aside, you feel that. You feel as a family, and it's a great thing to experience, and everyone should experience that, especially if it's foreign to them or they think it can't be real. It's something that everyone deserves to experience. So, Lifechanyuan is a great. Lifechanyuan is a beautiful family.
Beautiful family.
And are accepting of everyone, and always.
We're always opening our arms.
Yes, that is it. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's so much love here, and you feel that no matter what.
Yes, and so happy to have good brothers like Maidi to join the big family. Yeah.